Hey guys, a very good evening, students. I hope you all are safe and you all are staying indoors. Don't step out. And please bear with me, I'm recording this video with just my hand and my mobile phone. Okay, so let's get started. This is a demonstration video for the solution to the PLC ladder diagram that I've shared with you guys yesterday on WhatsApp. Okay, so this is the question that I've shared and this is the solution. Okay, so first let's understand the question. Okay, the question that I have shared with you on the group is handwritten. This I'm using the original 2019 paper for the question. Okay, so before we start, I would like to tell you that guys, this PLC ladder diagram is not much different from our electro-pneumatic circuit diagram that we have already studied in the class. Okay, the only difference you'll find is the connections we are making here is vertical. Making here in ladder diagram will be horizontal, and the connections that we made in electro-pneumatics were vertical. A little difference in the notations of the switches and all that you'll come to know, and you'll find that PLC ladder diagram is simple as compared to electro-pneumatics. Also, one more thing, that in electro-pneumatics, the sequence of the operation was beforehand given to us in the question, and we just were asked to draw the electro-pneumatic diagram. Okay, but here in PLC you'll be given a full question like this, wherein you have to read the question well, understand it, and understand the sequence. Okay, for example, this question which I'm taking, I'll read this question to you. It's written, a process tank shown in the figure below is used to mix a chemical according to the following sequence of operation. Okay, so this is the tank here. It is filled by this chemical. This motor is used to mix the chemical. The chemical is coming from here and going out from here, and these are the two limit switches used. Okay, so I'll just read out the first point which is given. A start button is pressed to start the operation, and V1 is being operated with solenoid SO1 in order to fill the tank to preset level sensed by the level switch S1. Okay, so this is the valve V1 shown here, and they are saying that it is being operated with solenoid SO1. Okay, we have already studied about the solenoid as well, guys, in electro-pneumatics. The Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4 attached to the 4x2 valves which were connected to the cylinders. The Y1, Y2 were the solenoid. You have to remember that it is electrically operated. When the current flows, it acts. When the current stops, it goes off. Okay, so same way it's here. Okay, so when the current will flow through the solenoid SO1, V1 will be open and then it will be closed when the current is switched off. Okay, easy. So let's go to the second point. As the tank fills, level switch S1 closes NO contact to energize the stirrer. The stirrer is this one, okay, which is connected to the motor. This NO which you read here is nothing but a normally open contact. We have already studied about it, guys. Normally open contact, normally closed contact. NO is normally open, NC is normally closed. Remember that. And then it's written to start automatically and operate for 60 seconds to mix the chemical. When the stirrer motor stops, the solenoid SO2 operates. Matlab this V2 is connected with solenoid SO2. Operates to energize to empty the tank. Matlab this will be energized. That means it will be opened and the tank will be emptied through this path. Okay. And the final point is given that when the tank is empty, level switch S2 de-energizes solenoid operated valve S2. A stop button is pressed to stop the operation. Okay, so I'll just quickly tell you what the question says. It says that this is the tank. Okay, the chemical is coming through this. This is the valve. It gets opened when the electric current is passed through it. Okay, so when suppose the electric current is passed through it, it opens, the chemical starts to flow in from here. It starts to fill the tank, but it will fill the tank when the level of the chemical comes to S1, that is limit switch S1. Then S1 will be activated and V1 should be closed. When V1 will be closed, at the same time this motor should start. Okay, now the next thing is the motor should run for 60 seconds, and after 60 seconds this valve should open and the motor should be switched off. Okay, then the level of the chemical will come down because the chemical will start flowing from here as V2 is now activated and opened. So when the level comes to S2, this V2 has to be closed. Okay, and a stop button is pressed to stop the operation. These are the things that we have to do. This is the sequence: the V1, then the V1, then S1, okay, then motor after 60 seconds should stop, V2 should open, and when the level comes to S2, V2 should be closed, and there is a stop button to stop the operation. Okay, and we'll see it in the diagram now, which I have already shared with you. The solution is here. All right, so now you will see that the notations are a bit different here. The good thing about this is all the inputs are in contact button. This what you see, guys, is a normally open contact, and this is the sign or symbol of a normally closed contact. I'll try and explain it to you. In electro-pneumatics, normally open we had something like this, right? And normally closed we had something like this. But here it's simple. Here this is normally open, this is NO, and this is normally closed, NC. And in electro-pneumatics, this was normally open and this was normally closed. I hope you guys remember this. Okay, so let's get back to our ladder diagram. Also, this is known as a ladder diagram because the appearance is like a ladder. If you see, the supply lines are the vertical lines. The current flows from positive, which is the left one, to right, which is the negative one, and the horizontal lines are known as rung. Okay, so this gives the appearance of a ladder, hence the name ladder diagram. And if you see the first connection, guys, you'll realize that it is same as that of our electro-pneumatics. Okay, when we used to start our electro-pneumatic circuit, I'll just show it here. It was something like this, right? And we had a relay here, okay, and this was something like this. Remember, so this was our push button and this was the relay, which we used to denote by K. So here also it is the same. The only notations are different. If you see here, the current starts from here. This is our push button 1. The notations are PB1. You can easily make out the notations from here. I have already mentioned everything here. Okay, so now the current flow, when we start the push button, this is normally open and this is normally closed. Why this is in picture or why this is connected here, you'll come to know in the second or third step. Okay, so now when we push the button, the current flows from here and goes to the relay. This relay CR1, it means control relay 1, and all the switches which are associated to control relay 1 will be now activated. So all those were normally open will get closed, and all those were normally closed will be open. Okay, so here all the switches which are associated to CR1 are mentioned here, and all are normally open if you see. Okay, so once the current is passed through CR1, it sends the signal and all are closed. Okay, so you see here this CR1 is connected here. This is known as a latch. So once we press this push button, press this push button, the current goes here, and then the current stops from here, right? But through this latch, when the current goes here, through this relay, this switch is now activated and it is closed. So the current will start flowing. Okay, it's like that. So it is known as a latch. Now, these two are also closed. The current is passing through here, but it is not passing through here because as this is the limit switch we are connected. This will be activated when? Look here. This will be activated when this S1, when the level of this chemical will come to S1. Okay, so I'll again come back to this diagram. So now the current is flowing through here and it goes to V1, right? When the current is going through V1, it is opened. Okay, and the chemical will start to flow through the valve 1. And when the level comes to S1, now this LS1 is nothing but our S1, limit switch 1. Okay, now what will happen is LS1 will be closed and this LS1 will be open because this is normally closed and this is normally open. Okay, so now the current will flow from here. This will be closed, so the current will flow and this will open. Okay, so now V1 will also be deactivated. Now after this, you see here this connection. Now through this, when here the level of the chemical comes here, S1 switch is activated. Now what we had, V1 should close and motor should start. So now you see this is opened, so V1 will stop, and this is closed, so the current will flow from here. And because there is a timer attached to this, why? Because in the question it is said to us that the motor should go on for 60 seconds. So the current, as you see this connection, the current will go simultaneously to the motor and to the timer. Okay, now through this timer, this T and this T, these two switches are associated. This is normally closed and this is normally open. So when the current flows through the motor starts, and also when it flows through the timer starts. All right, so the timer goes for 60 seconds, and when the 60 seconds are done, it will send a signal to this T. This will be open and this will be closed. Okay, so now our motor stops. When the motor stops, T, we connect this to our CR2. Okay, this is the next relay. Now after this get closed because of the timer. Now you see this is coming here, this goes to the control relay 2, and this is again a latch here. Wherever you are connecting a relay, we give a latch. We have seen in electro-pneumatics as well, wherever the relay was there, we were given a latch. Okay, so now there is a latch here, control relay 2, and this 2 will start. Now this is a limit switch 2. Why it is attached, you'll come to know now the current is flowing through this, it goes to V2. Now V2 is opened, this V2. Okay, so the chemical starts to flow from here. Current is flowing through V2. Now as soon we have connected a limit switch S2, if you see here, when V2, now the chemical is going through here, when the level of this chemical comes to S2, this will stop. How? We have given a connection here. Okay, when it goes to S2, now this is normally closed, guys. This will open and the current will stop going to CR2. Okay, and this will also get closed. Now again it will start from the start, but here in the start I didn't tell you about this push button 2. This is nothing, this is normally closed. This button is there to stop the operation. As you see here, a stop button is pressed to stop the operation. So this is that stop button. When you press this, it opens and the current stops flowing to the control relay 1 and it stops. Okay, simple. It's very simple, guys. It's simpler than our electro-pneumatics that we have studied, and we have solved so many questions of electro-pneumatics. So please go through it, and any doubt, please DM me, guys. Please DM me on privately, no problem. I'm very happy to explain it to you again. But if you go through this video once or twice, you'll be able to understand that this is very easy. And I'll be sharing with you another questions, two paper has IA 2019. There were 2 papers in December and May, so I will be sharing solution of both the questions to you, and I think that will be enough for you to understand the ladder diagram. So for now, please practice this question, guys, and if any problem, please revert back or DM me. Okay, thank you so much.